sliding slow, sunset on the screen, CNS travel, Eddie Lugo on the scene. Chat lights up, we loading up the stream, passport open, big plan, big dreams, from shorelines out to the studio glow, we dive in together.
Set sail on the 4.0 Booze Cruise, hosted by Eddie Lugo Studios. Departure, October 31st, 2026 from Galveston, Texas. Itinerary. Day 1, departure from Galveston, Halloween night kickoff. Day 2, fun day at sea. Day 3, Cozumel. Day 4, Bay Islands, Honduras. Day 5, Harvest Caye, Belize. Day 6, Costa Maya. Day 7, fun day at sea. Day 8, return to Galveston, memories that haunt forever. Don't miss out, reserve your cabin today.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Cruising Chris M. Here I am going live just because I can.
Lights on, the lens, we feel set. Oh
yeah. All right, just because I can. Just because I can, yep.
Ooh. So how you doing, Chris? You doing all right
I'm
today?
doing well, Sherman. Doing well, brother. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, oh yeah. Before we get into the chat, though, I want to take a minute and let's think about Eddie. We're here, and as much as he'd like to be here, things happen, and he's got to be on a cruise and can't be here. So I know he's suffering, and
it's a tough life, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, I hate it for him. If I could, I'd have went on the cruise for him, so he wouldn't have had to. But here it is. We got to do what we got to do.
I know. We'll get along without him some way, somehow. But yeah.
So,
yep.
All right,
We'll
let's see. Yeah, see, we got Josie Ann, first one in tonight. Josie Ann. We got Danny coming in to look after and take care of us. Hey, Danny. Oh, then we got Vicky in. I know she was on Bill's live just a few minutes ago, so I guess she's not playing pickleball tonight, or either she's getting ready to rush out to go play pickleball. So I don't know which one it is. Maybe she's giving everybody a break and letting them get a chance to win tonight. Without not being there.
She's a dominant pickleball player for sure.
That's right. Let's see. Everybody saying, hey, got Mitch coming in. Hey, Mitch. The rest of the Cam fam. Hope y'all doing good. Got Shay's Adventures coming in. Let's see. We got Nicole. We got this fella here. Got Chris M coming in.
Craziness, I tell you.
Got to watch him, Danny. Got to keep your eye on that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, talking about Bill just a minute ago there. He's coming in. I jumped in there just at the tail end of it. And, of course, they were giving away all the secrets on how to beat the casino. So, I don't know. don't believe it's too much beating the casino out there, but
No,
they were giving all the pointers and tips and what they had done and tried and what didn't work and what worked and that kind of stuff. So
I've always been told the house always wins, but you can definitely take some advantage when you're out to sea. So definitely get
That's
some
right.
tips for it.
yeah. I hadn't seen a casino land or on sea yet that they built that was to make you money.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Oh, we got Randy coming in. Hey, Randy. Hope you're doing good. Must be through with all them cruises. He's like Eddie. On cruise after cruise after cruise.
Yeah, it's a tough life, but somebody's got to do it.
I tell you, I'm going to be like them when I grow up.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Gerald coming in more to see. Got Zach coming in. I don't know, Chris, I don't know if you've seen this yet or not, but Zach went to this smoothie place and we got a pickled smoothie.
I saw the preview. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I'm going to get there. So.
Well, you need to check it out. But when you're watching it, just remember, I'm Team Chad. So out of all the responses you get there, I'm going with Chad on this one. Yeah. So I ain't gonna spoil nothing for you since you hadn't seen it. I want you to. Anybody else that hasn't seen it, go over there and check it out because it's not often that you see a pickle smoothie, but they had it down there.
Oh, for sure.
Let's see. Everybody's still saying, hey, back and forth to each other is a good thing. Let's see. It's so quiet without Eddie around. Oh, yeah. Let's see. I was on 3 ships. Queen Mary, Panorama. Yep. I tell you. You've been on enough here lately that you ought to start getting a check. They have to pay you while you've been on there so much.
Yep, for sure.
Lord. All right. Well, everybody's talking back and forth to each other. Well, Chris, one thing we're going to start out talking about tonight. You know how my lives go. We'll start out one way and we might wind up going either other way.
Yep, for sure.
But anyway, you started getting in with the Patreon, and Trish got in with it, and I said, hey, that's something that a lot of people, myself included, don't know anything about. So let's see what kind of stuff that Chris can tell us about it, and maybe if we can talk about some of the benefits of Patreon versus memberships and vice versa and that kind of thing. Because, we just want to, with this show, we just like to discuss stuff so, creators can build memberships, build their channels and community building. And I think that can be a part of it. If we can kind of get out there and help people understand the differences and benefits, costs, what it is to set up and that kind of thing.
Well, Patreon is another stream of revenue that especially young YouTubers like myself can utilize because YouTube itself does have requirements of a certain amount of hours, certain number of subscribers before.
I reckon you can, Randy. I ain't got no problem with it, but
yep. and what that does is it allows you a stream of income to help you support your channel. Because anybody who does any type of YouTube channel understands that there are costs associated with it. Right. With you doing your live, having to pay for StreamYard, there's an expense. I wanted to do some lives. I have Restream. There's an expense. We want to be able to do things, cruises and stuff like that. We want to bring that experience and share it with our audience. Not that I myself am going to make enough money from Patreon to pay for a cruise, but there are some YouTubers that probably do. And it allows me to be able to, actually get a little bit of money. And I do have a few people on my Patreon, which I'm very gracious for, that have chose to support me. and I support around the channel too, and I don't expect everybody to come and support me, but if they like what I do and they want to see me put out more content and help support, then that's what it's for. So with the fees associated with it, Patreon doesn't charge any fees up front, but they do take a little cut outside when you do sign up. And it's a very simple process. You do sign up for it, you register and stuff like that. I've been exposed to Patreon on several different channels. Royal Caribbean Blog does have a Patreon. I know Lolita Loca has a Patreon. Cruising with Jen has a Patreon. So a lot of those people do have Patreons. Of course, Randy, like you said, Scrow's Nest, has a Patreon. And, because, he had a little issue with YouTube. And, he lost, all of his pennies. So he needed another source of income to get his pennies back. Because I guess his scooter runs on copper. So he's got to make sure his scooter runs.
Right.
So we need to make sure Randy had his pennies going.
Right.
So he got his Patreon up and going, and that just gives you a little bit of a backup to do it. And some people do Patreon and membership, so it will give you a little bit of income, and it can let you set up different levels, such as you can in YouTube. So you can set up a different tier. Patreon allows you to do a free membership to start with for a certain amount of time. Usually it's about a week or so. And then you can start at a low level tier. You can start it as low as $1. They suggest not to go that low, but you can do whatever you want to. And then go $3, $5. And then you can set your levels. And some people can do different gifts at different levels. Some people can just leave it empty, whatever you want to do, just whatever you want to do for your members. Right. I try to put out personalized videos. Some different things I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do personal notes to them when I travel. I'm going to try to get some Patreon gifts that are specific only for them. So, and that's kind of hard to do because I have been kind of a gift giving kind of person. So, right. Many of my friends have benefit from that. But, I do have some tricks up my sleeve that I will kind of, materialize here over the next several weeks. But of course, I am going to start traveling myself since I am on summer break. So right. I do have to get my cruise itch scratched. So I'm going to start doing that too. So that's Patreon in a nutshell. So.
All right. Well,
thank you, Danny, for posting Randy's Patreon.
Yep. Yeah, just got it up there. That's good. So everybody can want to support Randy with his Patreon. There's his link. You can click on it and go join his Patreon.
Yep. And I think I was Randy's first Patreon member too.
Oh, there you go. Good.
At least he told me I was, so I don't know if he did that just to pump me up and keep me excited, but that's what he said anyways.
Yeah. He says that to everybody. Just like
yeah, that's what I said. I don't know if that's fully true or not, but he just said that, just to keep me excited anyways, make me feel
right. Yeah, just make you feel good about doing it,
Exactly.
So, well, you told us a little bit about what Patreon is. What was the first thing that made you decide to create a Patreon membership on your channel?
Well, being someone who is on YouTube, it is a expense. And with me having a limited income with being a teacher, don't get me wrong, I do okay. I make enough money to take care of my family. I make enough money to have a disposable income to be able to cruise. But I want to do this diary of YouTube, and I just want something to help supplement with all the expenses that go along with it. And with going live and sharing my knowledge and be able to record what I'm thinking, be able to help people out. One of the ideas I had the other day with a pop-up live I did was about, having allergies and sensitivities and stuff while sailing, turned out to be a pretty good subject because I guess not a lot of people have talked about it, at least within our little community.
Right.
So, that is something that I want to get out and help share to hopefully reach some people that may have been on the fence about possibly cruising or not cruising because they maybe have some of those issues. So the more people I can get out to, or the more people I can reach, the more people can help. So it's just something to help take the edge off of all the expenses that go along with it. It's like I said, and like Eddie always says, you're not going to get rich doing this. I mean, there are very few people that can do it, and God bless them that they can do it. You know, I know Tony makes a living off of it, you know, with Ludi Loca.
Kimberly.
Yeah. And, you know, same thing with Matt over at Royal Caribbean Blog. He makes a living off of it. Casey Neistat made a living off of it, you know, for the longest time. So, yes, you can do it, but, you know, that's like becoming a professional baseball player. I don't see that happening in my future. I don't see me becoming a professional YouTuber in my future, but there are some people who find that, you know, Blind Squirrel does find a nut every once in a while.
That's
so,
right.
You know, it's something that's just going to help take the edge off, help my checkbook out a little bit. It's like it's not going to make me rich, but it will, you know, keep me from seeing so much red every time I, you know, want to get something and pay for the restream or pay for whatever I need to pay for.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, I can see it helping. You know, like you said, paying for. You know, there's most of us will have several different subscriptions that we have to pay monthly. You know,
right?
Whatever live stream software we're using, editing software, you know, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
If you have music, you know, Epidemic Sound or whatever you do, you know, there's a cost there. And then, you know, if like you said, the gifts, you know, these things don't come free. You know,
no, they don't.
You have to pay. You know, if any gifts or whatever you want to send out to everybody, which we all enjoy doing it. That's why we get them and order them and send them out. But so I can see where that could definitely help with that.
Right. And I started sending out gifts just because I like being nice. I just like to share, you know, my kindness with people. You know, I never did it to, you know, I did it to kind of help grow my channel, but I didn't do it because I expected anything in return. You know, I just want to do it to make people smile, make people happy, make people feel good. So, you know, and I shared, you know, what I could with the people I can. So,
right. Well, I'm gonna tell you, your gifts are the most unique, useful gifts that anybody is giving out. I mean, because you're like, Turner, why didn't I think of that? That's good. You know, the first aid kit, the sewing kits. I mean, all this stuff that you like. Well, crap. You know, we always need stuff like that, especially on a cruise. So I think a lot of us, you know, they automatically they went in the suitcase. So when we're on a cruise, you're gonna see them there.
And that's kind of the, you know, what I try to think is what's going to be useful. Because it's nice to have a sticker. It's nice to have a magnet. You know, I've got stickers all over my laptop, laptop at work, and you know, and those are great to have. Trust me. You know, if anybody wants to send more stickers, you know, hook me up. I'll find a place to put them and stuff like that. But you know, what do you need when you're on a cruise?
Right.
You know, and granted, some people already had some of this stuff, but you know, you're a travel agent. I do a little bit on the side, but not anything professional. But a lot of these other people do. And what do people need in a pinch? So I tried to think, you know, as because I'm still a fairly new cruiser. I've only been cruising for about 3 or 4 or 5 years. You know, I've got 16 cruises under my belt, and you know, I always think back, you know, what was stuff that I actually needed. So I'm kind of use that Boy Scout mentality. What to do if I try to always be prepared. So I always try to think, you know, what does somebody need, you know, in a pinch, and it turns out that they are pretty good. They're pretty good hits, like you said. So they're very unique and they're very useful. So, you know, maybe it gives you an idea, because I know you do a little travel agency stuff on the side. So you can order some sewing kits and put your stickers on them, and you know, because you don't have to get it customized. You know, if you notice what I did, I just ordered the blank sewing kits and then put a sticker on there, and that, you know, took 10 minutes of my time. And you know, it cost me more to get them sent out than it did to really get everything put together. So, but if you have some clients that, you know, somebody books a cruise with you, you're going to give it to them.
Yeah. That's like I normally, you know, I'll send out lanyards and the plastic luggage tags that has the metal band on it. You know, I always send that stuff like that. That's what I've been sending out. But you know, I had already thought about adding some stuff like what you had been sending.
Right.
You know, to put out there. So
Steal my ideas. Go
That's
ahead.
right.
That's what
right.
they're there for sure.
Yeah. Randy said, Chris, you were number one. So
Well, you're number one in my heart there, Randy, because
Yeah.
like I told you, when I first started cruising, you were the one that I looked up to find out stuff about using a mobility scooter. And, you know,
hey, DC,
just like a light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, Scrow's Nest. I wouldn't remember watching videos of Scrow's Nest before I took my first cruise. So, you know, Randy was there back when nobody else was talking about scooters. So,
right. Yeah. There you go. Kimberly says she's doing good.
Appreciate
Looking forward
that
to
there,
the
DC.
Unhinged.
yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be a big one right there. The Unhinged. It's gonna be
It sure is.
be a big cruise. So
Yep. I have a
There'll be a
feeling
lot
that
of-
casino's going to be pretty busy on that one. With everybody's going to be looking
yeah.
over Chris and Liz's shoulder too to find
That's
out
right.
what the juice is.
yeah, everybody gonna be going checking all our resident casino players. You know, Chris and Liz and Vicky and DC. You know, we're all gonna be trying to watch over their shoulders and see what the secret is, what they're
sure.
doing.
For
And
sure.
just trying to copy it. Let's see.
Yep.
It's surprising how many people think you are making all kinds of money. They won't believe when you're making pennies. Yeah. Well, you know, Randy, since they quit making pennies, so I reckon everybody's gonna have to start making nickels.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
So, oh, and Najuma coming in. Hey, Najuma.
Yeah, Najuma. Cat and Matt came in too. Appreciate y'all coming by.
Hope you're doing good. Mick says they appreciate all the gifts and support.
Yep.
Let's see. And of course,
You know, like
there's,
those like those little nail kits too, or something. You know,
Oh,
how many
yeah.
times you broke a nail off or something like that, and just need a little something to kind of, you know, take care of that too. So, hey, Danny, appreciate you posting that.
yeah. Well, that's right. And normally we always, you know, took like nail clippers or something like that just in case.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it was thrown in a toiletry bag or a
Right.
suitcase or whatever. So then when you need it, you had to go hunting all over the place for it. But now I got a little kit right there that's easy
Exactly.
to find.
Exactly. And I think one of the biggest compliments, you know, besides yours,
Yeah, man.
was when Coach Cruz talked to me about it. And after he opened his girlfriend immediately took that from him because she does that for a profession. So she thought
Oh.
that was the best thing. And, you know, it's not like that's top quality stuff, but, you know, when she
No.
takes it and, you know, she wants to use it, then I know that's pretty good stuff.
Well, that goes back to what we were talking about before the show. You know, that's one of the things that it ain't worth nothing until you need it, but when you need it, it's worth everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
Appreciate that, DC. Thank you very much.
let's see. Let's see. Yep, that's right. See, it's in Helen again next year.
Yep.
Yeah, unless something happens between now and then.
Yeah,
Anybody-
unfortunately, the date you guys picked for Helen this time coming around is right when I've got spring break, and I've already got a cruise out of New Orleans for that one. So,
Right. Yeah, it's anybody who hadn't been that can go. I tell you, it's last year was our first year, and we plan to be going from now on pretty much. It was
Yep.
a real good time. It was really interesting and exciting to actually meet people that be able to sit down face to face and talk with and get to know a lot more than we do through the lives we do and chats and that kind of stuff. It was real interesting and nice.
oh yeah, and get to see Eddie do wheelies down the road. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, you know, Eddie doing tricks on the scooter. I mean, you know,
Yep.
It's just, let's see. I wish I could help everyone out that way. I would be broke. Yep. Yeah, you got to be careful when you get to order stuff, you can't get carried away.
Yep, that Temu can be very, very dangerous. It can be very dangerous for sure.
I want to surprise you with the Patreon. So,
Yep. And yeah, it's you can't be in a hurry when you're doing Temu too for ordering stuff. You gotta really plan ahead, because it can be anywhere from a couple weeks to a month and a half
Right.
to really get your stuff in.
I just started playing around with Temu. Yeah, because of you and Eddie. Eddie is always, Temu. But I started playing around with it. But I ordered some things, and like you said, it took like 2 months to get here.
Yeah.
But I got all this credit, so it would tell me, hey, you got all this credit, order free stuff. So I was ordering the free stuff, and it was showing it was coming down off my credit.
Right.
But then at the end of it, it charged me. And so I left it alone, but I've gone back and done a little bit, but I ain't doing nothing with the credit stuff. My wife does, Crystal, she'll do a little bit of stuff with Temu elsewise. I told her, look, I said, I'll put in what I think I want, and you just do any of the credit stuff, you just take care of it. So I wound up spending another $60 that I thought was going to be free stuff.
Yeah.
And it won't.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. When I first started doing Temu, I got some of those offers too, and I started playing around with it, and then said you got to order this, and you got to order this, and you got to order this, and you got 4 more things to go, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute here. This doesn't sound very free to me. So
right. Yeah. See, mine, everything looked good right until the point you hit submit.
Right.
And I hit submit, and then my PayPal dinged on my phone. I said, wait a minute.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Man, so had a blast in hell.
Yep. Yeah, and hopefully, I know Danny said that her brother and sister-in-law, they're doing some construction on their house, because she's hoping to try to get up here this fall, which around the Chicago area. So I hope she still can, because I'd really love to meet her in person. So.
Oh yeah, she's just as awesome or awesomer in person as she is in the chats. So. For
sure. Yep, that'd be an amazing
it
thing
is
to do.
meeting face to face and sitting down. It's it's funny in a way, because that was the first time actually meeting a lot of these people. But because we talked a couple days a week through chats and lives and that kind of thing, it was almost like old friends getting back together that had been apart for a little while. It wasn't like a first initial meeting. So
exactly,
it was a little different, but it was still good. It was a good time.
Yep. And I hear Helen's a nice little town to get to too. So it's like a German little.
Yeah. Set up like a German town, and depending on where you stay, we stayed at the Hellendorf, where a lot of people did, and you can basically walk to just about everything from there. I mean, the restaurants we went to, shops, different things, get-togethers, it was all within walking distance of that, pretty much the whole time. So that made it nice. You didn't have to worry about traffic, getting in the cars and that kind of driving and all. So that was another thing that made it nice. And luckily we had real good weather that time. So
right.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many people is going to be, but it's going to be, the last time I heard, it was over 100.
Okay, so it is over 100 now?
Yeah. So it's going to be a big party of people.
Yes. Hey, Greg and Michelle, welcome in. Yeah, and I got my latest round of casino offers through Carnival, and they had some for, what is it, the celebration that's going on. Right. They had some Carnival celebrations in there. I kept on looking, but they only went up to the 6th day. They did not do a 7-day. By God, if they would have had a 7-day, I would have found a way to get off work. So get a cruise for a couple $100.
Oh yeah,
I would have had an eye problem, because I just couldn't see myself going to work.
That's right. You have to call out. Might have been from calling out from the Caribbean, but you'd have to call out.
Yep.
Let's see.
I got the fever. I got the Caribbean fever.
Got the fever. Got the fever.
Yeah.
Well, we already kind of talked about my next question was, the biggest benefits from creators, gaining, memberships through Patreon. And,
Right.
You said that's a little more of a stable income and build a little strong community right there and exclusive content.
Right.
So kind of
and it's yeah, and it's really up to the creator what they want to do. I know some creators don't do much. I'm trying to give a little behind the scenes, a little preview. I've done some videos that are not published publicly, like a day in the life of, or a morning wrap up, or just like a good morning kind of thing, just for them. Just to kind of make it worth their while. And I know there's sponsoring or a membership to sponsor me, which, like I said, I'm very grateful for, but I want to give them something in return.
Right.
So to make it feel worth their money's going towards something good.
Right. Yeah. Get something out of it, and
exactly.
Keep giving them reasons to keep supporting and be interested.
Exactly.
So how difficult is it to set up a Patreon account?
It really wasn't that difficult at all because, like I said, I had already been involved in Patreon from being a member on other channels. Mm-hmm. So I already had a Patreon account. It just took going to the other side and setting up from a creator standpoint. Mm-hmm. So it just asked me some different questions, and pretty much the same thing as it was for YouTube for getting your membership. Going, you got to fill out some tax information and stuff like that. Verify that you're a U.S. citizen, so on and so forth. And it took probably less than 5 minutes to get everything set up. And then, hardest thing for me was to set up my tier levels, coming up with something creative for the names, and then, how much you wanted to charge. I wanted to keep it kind of on the low end because I think it's better to get more people involved on the lower end and then keep them more involved. And then over time, maybe some people will come in on the higher end and go from there. So, I'd rather have more at a smaller dollar amount than it would be to have just a few at a higher dollar amount.
Right.
So,
yeah, I agree. I think it's better to have more at a lower dollar so you can attract more people than just a couple at a higher. Yeah.
Exactly. Because, I'd be rather hesitant to join someone for $10 a month. Right. Whereas if somebody's $3, $4, $5, $6 a month, I'd be more likely to, help them out. I'm not going to miss, $4 or $5 a month, out of my PayPal. $10 a month, we're starting to, even though, that's 2 other people's memberships, but to me, just psychological, it's a little too much.
Well, and I think too, I think you just hit on it is, a lot of us, we support several channels, and it's at that $2 to $5 a month range.
Right.
So if, say I'm supporting 5 channels at $2 a month versus 1 channel at $10 a month. Mm-hmm. I'm probably not going to, and most people are probably not going to support the 5 channels at $10 a month, but they will at $2 a month. So I think that's another thing to keep in there is, everybody wants to support. Well, not everybody, but most people, especially in our community, want to support as many people as they can. And
exactly.
Keeping them the rates down allows them to do that.
Right. And I think we have a great community because I found this community through Chris and Liz because I sailed my first Carnival cruise just last Christmas. And, I had it booked for, probably 2 years in advance. And, I'd been cruising for a little bit, but I didn't know much about Carnival Cruise Line. Of course, you always hear all the rumors and stuff like that. And so I had a little bit of hesitancy about doing it. but I just wanted to confirm. But they had the itinerary I really wanted to do, so I just wanted to confirm that I was going to be okay. And I talked to some friends who had been on Carnival, and they seemed to like it. And I had some other friends that had been on Carnival, and they said, no, you really don't want to do it. And I really like to form my own opinion, but I do take into consideration when it comes down, I'm dropping a couple grand on a cruise, and it's over Christmas. So I really wanted to get, the true down low. So I found Chris and Liz, which found Coach Cruise, which found you guys, which found, Greg and Michelle Cruise Life TV.
Right.
So, it really led me into this community, and it's turned out to be a tremendous thing. With Rick Texas Cruiser, we're kind of the oddballs out because we're the Royal Caribbean, duo, I think. But I don't think people ostracize us just because we're like a different cruise line. And now we got DC. He's really the outlier with NCL. Right. So but I think we just all mesh together, because I think all the opinions really help, because I think a lot of people are going over to DC because they're interested in trying NCL. Right. And and Eddie's really been an NCL kind of guy too. So going to him when I did my first NCL cruise, he was a very valuable asset. So, that's how the community has evolved. And, I don't mind sharing my support with Eddie. I don't mind sharing my support with you and with all the other channels that have membership. Well, you don't have a membership yet, but you will get there someday. But if you wanted to get into Patreon, you can sign up for it now, because, I've got 250 some subscribers. So there's no requirement that you have to have XYZ with this in Patreon. So it just signs up, and of course they're going to take their percentage right off the top, so you don't have to worry about paying them back or anything. There's no entry fee or anything like that. You don't have to pay $100 subscription or anything. They're just going to take their money off the top, and you'll just get your cut as it goes along.
So you and Trish especially jumping in has got me looking at it and thinking about it. So who knows, it might come around.
And I think Trisha got in because she saw I think Trisha got in because she saw that I did it, and she was like, well, hey, maybe this might help us out a little bit. So that we appreciate that right there just as much as being a paid member.
That's what all of us get in here for, is to chat and get to know each other and hang out. And so that support right there is the primary thing we're looking for. Is
exactly the subscribers are the substance of what we do. The membership is the icing on top.
Yeah.
So it's great to have membership, but I would be doing this even if I didn't have membership. But subscribers is what I want. It's just what because that means that what I'm doing means something to someone else.
That's right.
So
exactly right. How much percentage does Patreon take? Is what
it's not a lot. I think it's like $1 per membership off the top, and then it's just a certain percentage. I want to say it's like 10 or 15% overall. I don't remember the exact numbers right off the top of my head. But I think it was $1 when they first joined, and then it's a little bit less after it goes on.
Okay.
So, Randy, if you want to jump in on that one, you might, if you remember anything different.
Yeah. Randy can probably tell you down to the penny.
Yeah. Like I said, he needs his copper to keep his scooter going. So
that's right. Let's see here if anybody's got any other questions in here. Yep, that's right. This community is amazing.
Yep. And don't think that you have to join anybody's Patreon or anybody's membership to be any better of a part of this community. You're going to be loved and accepted no matter what part of this community you're in. Oh, you finally got your power back.
Holy cow. Back on. Man.
So did you guys get storms over there, Ron? Is that what happened to you guys?
Yeah, we were lucky.
We'll get into the.
Yeah, we had some squirrels or something got into our stuff, but it won't a storm. But luckily we got our power back about 9:30 last night, so it wasn't as bad as long as Ron. So I feel for you, because Ron's probably got one of them generators that I was talking about. I'm gonna get. Let's see. We're going to Carnival for the first time in over 10 years in August. Okay, cool. Yeah, you were talking about the different people and different cruise lines. Everybody's like, and I think that's one thing that makes this community a little better is, we're going to rag Rick some on the Royal Caribbean just because it's fun.
Right.
And, but, if we were going on a Royal Caribbean cruise, I'm definitely going to be checking with Rick or you or something like that.
Exactly. Who are we going to go to, though?
Right. NCL, talk to Eddie. Definitely going to talk to DC about, because he's the king of NCL. He's the Rick of NCL, like Rick.
He is, absolutely.
Of Royal Caribbean. So.
Absolutely. And Eddie's pretty well versed on NCL too. So
yeah. So,
yeah, DC and Eddie but Eddie, Eddie kind of keeps it on the DL about NCL, but
Eddie wants you to see everything for yourself. He don't want to steer you one way or the other. And
right.
And I understand what he's saying because everybody's view on the same thing is going to be different.
Right.
But the guiding us how to get there, where we're going, that kind of stuff,
right.
he'll help you out. So
yeah, and the thing is I don't want people telling me what to do, but one of the great pieces of advice I got was from Mitch at CanFam, because he said on former night, because I told him what I was probably going to get off the menu. He goes, Chris, you got to get the steak, you got to get the lobster. I said, well, I can't get the lobster because of my allergy. He goes, oh yeah, you probably want to stay away from the lobster, but you got to get the steak. And that was one of the best decisions I had because that was one of the best MDR steaks I've ever had. Right. Usually MDR steak is, kind of a piece of shoe leather.
Right.
At least that's been my experience. But, on Carnival, on the Horizon anyways, it was pretty darn tasty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's no Cagney steak from NCL, but it was pretty darn tasty.
All right.
So, and thanks to Mitch, because otherwise I might have missed out on that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, it's good to have those resources, and, they're not going to tell me what to do, but they're going to definitely give me suggestions.
Yeah. And if we threw a question out right now about something on, we'll say Carnival, because there's more Carnival people in the community, you'll probably get about the same number of good and bad about it. But at least you'll have different opinions, different views. Like, well, okay, well, that way you still go and try it and see, and you're like, well, yeah, I kind of see what this one was and that one. So
right. And the thing is it's about experiences too, because, in July, I'm going up to Alaska for the first time. And Greg Michelle went to Alaska, even though theirs was on Carnival. They still went to a lot of the same places I'm going to. On to go with YOLO, went to Alaska on Star Princess. I'm going on Star Princess. So, her information is going to be invaluable to me.
Right.
Yeah. So, Eddie's 5.0 is going to be on Star Princess. So, my experience on that cruise with the scooter is going to be good information for him.
That's right.
So, we can just share it all, and, it's just that cycle that we can do to help our community, and that's what we're for.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it, Greg. I really am. I watched your videos. I watched a couple of them over and over again just to do it.
Well, I tell you, Alaska is a cruise everybody needs to take. It's you can watch videos, you can look at pictures and how beautiful everything is, but until you're there, you're standing there looking, those pictures and videos do not do it justice. Now, I will tell you that I think the Alaska cruise was probably the most tiring cruise I have been on, because every day, port day, you were out, you were doing stuff. You were going from the time you got there until the time you had to get back on the ship before you got left. So it was, exhausting day, but it was still wonderful. And I'm looking forward to going back, pretty soon. So.
Yeah. And I've said this, before, I typically don't do excursions when I go to cruise ports, but every cruise port I have in Alaska, I've got an excursion for because
Right.
I want to experience, because who knows when I'm going
yeah.
to get back to Alaska.
Right.
So,
That's right. Yeah.
Patreon
Randy
takes
said,
less than YouTube.
yeah, less than YouTube, and they don't jerk you around.
Jerk you around? What are you talking about, Randy? I don't know what you're talking about for YouTube.
I think that was like a little sore subject there, but we'll see. Let's see. Let me get caught up here in the chat. Everybody saying hey to each other, talking back and forth. Make sure we don't miss any questions. Let's see.
Yep.
Breeze
Looks like
in
Tripping with
August.
Yep, looks like Tripping with RB came in.
Yeah.
Paul Vine came in. I think Uncle Dave came in somewhere. Cat and Matt's here.
Man, I'm way behind. Let's see. Ooh, yeah, there's Tripping with R&B. Appreciate y'all being here. There's the grouchy old guy. There's
With a
Uncle
cherub-like demeanor.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll be
Well,
up
Uncle
here
Dave,
tomorrow
I
night.
might need Uncle Dave to come and set up my printer, because I've been fighting with that thing for the last 3 hours.
Yeah. Uncle Dave, he needs you to set up his printer with your tech support.
Yeah, for sure. I need Uncle Dave's tech support, either that or a sledgehammer. This thing might be going out the window.
Well, that's what Uncle Dave's going to bring. That's what he works on everything with, is a sledgehammer. Well, you said you were already involved with Patreon as far as being a member on using Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think are some mistakes that new creators make when they first launch memberships on Patreon? Or what do you, after you've launched yours, what do you think are some that new people could very easily make?
I think by not providing your members something for their membership, providing a service or a thank you for their membership, because I've made sure from day one, when they become members, I make sure I announce it. I've created logos that I put out on my Facebook page. I sent each of my members a personal message. I try to do these little behind the scene videos for them. When I go on my cruises, I'm going to try to send a personal note to them from wherever I'm at. Granted, it's not going to get mailed till I get back to the States, because I love y'all, but I'm not going to pay the international postage. But don't take it the wrong way. But I can only do so much. But I think by not giving them a true value for their dollar, I think could be the huge mistake. And then, or by not doing anything for their members, because I think because when Trish set hers up, she was doing a little video every day for her Patreon, and it doesn't have to be anything monetary. It doesn't have to be gifts or anything like that. Just give them something for their, show that you care about them, show that it's worth subscribing for that extra dollar. And I think that's the best thing you can do for them. And then, so give them something valuable, that's only for them. And I think the other thing that they can probably get into a rut about is maybe charging too much. Get in there and say, well, I think what I'm doing is very valuable. I'm going to charge $5, $7, $10 for my initial membership. Well, if you've only got 100 subscribers, you charge $10. No offense, but I don't think I'd probably get 1 or 2 memberships, but I wouldn't get, maybe 10, 15, 20, whatever I've got now.
Right.
So, I think that could be a little hole that you can get into. And I think you need to be consistent, just like with everything else, just like publishing on YouTube. You got to be consistent to keep your membership going, to get your subscription going. So I think that's the rut you can fall into.
Yeah. What do you think about tiers? How many tiers do you think somebody should have, or should they have 1 tier or 3 tiers? What do you think?
Well, Patreon recommends to have a couple of different tiers, so I did that, but I don't see anybody joining in at my $10 tier. I really don't, but I put that in there. I put in with a free membership. for a free trial,
Mm-hmm.
and then it will default to the $3 tier, which is the lowest tier. And then if they want to join in, they can join in the $5 tier, which I think is about par for the course of what a lot of people charge for a YouTube membership and things like that. And then I think I have a $10 tier, and I think I might have done something maybe higher than that. So I've got 3 or 4 tiers. I just named them different things. Like one's a CPAS card, one's something else, and I just kind of took some names that were familiar to me with cruising, and kind of a little bit of Royal Caribbean flair with it, I think. So, it's up to you. But with each tier, you have to remember you probably want to do a little something extra for that person. I know Randy has several different tiers on his, and he has it really spelled out what you're going to get with each tier. So when you first join, you're going to get, XYZ. For the second tier, you're going to get this. And for the third tier, you're going to get this. And then if you're a member for, 6 months, you're going to get this. So he has it really spelled out. So, and that's one thing that I probably need to update with mine is, get it more spelled out. But I'm still learning with mine with doing this. So.
Right. What do you think the major differences are from Patreon to YouTube membership? And everybody in the chat, if you will, put in there, do you think you're more willing to join a YouTube membership or a Patreon membership, or does it matter?
From my standpoint, I think it's easier for young creators to do a Patreon because you don't have those requirements. You don't have those requirements of having X number of hours and X number of subscribers. So you can come in as long as you can go live on YouTube, which I think is 50 subscribers. You can start a Patreon where you can go live. And you probably don't even have to do that. You can still do everything out of Patreon. I can post videos through Patreon. I can post chats through Patreon. I can do a lot of stuff through Patreon. So, to me, that's the advantage that I see. But does it matter if I join through Patreon or through YouTube? With several creators, I'm involved in both sides.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter to me. But what about, you guys? What do you think? You guys like Patreon or you like YouTube better? I know some of the creators have had some issues with YouTube. Mm-hmm. So Patreon might be a little bit better of a platform for you to keep your income going. So who knows? It's just another alternative for you.
Right. Well, I said that, since you got into Patreon and Trish got into Patreon, y'all got me to thinking about it. And so I started doing a little looking and comparing. Some of the things I come up with is a lot of what you just said, of course. But, with Patreon is independent from a platform. With YouTube memberships, it's only through the YouTube channel. With Patreon, you can do it through several things, like you said.
Yeah, you can do it through Facebook or YouTube or anything else. Yeah.
So that's one advantage, and Patreon won't jerk you around, as Randy says.
Yeah.
So that in itself is going to make the YouTube membership more limited to that smaller community than you could use Patreon for. And that's just some of the, you're able to brand it more, I think, with the Patreon. The requirements you don't have there. It's easier for people to get in to join a membership on YouTube than it is Patreon, because all you got to do with YouTube basically is just click the button. Whereas Patreon, you got to set up an account, to pay through. Mm-hmm. It's just a little bit more in depth to set that up. So that's some of the main things that I'd seen difference wise, what I could find out.
But if you remember when you first signed up for YouTube, you had to go through all of those steps initially to set up your account. So
Yeah, I think what that was getting at was, once you get things set up with YouTube, then it don't matter if I want to join 10 different channels. It's just a click on each one. Whereas as Patreon, it's going to be a little bit different a couple more steps each time. But that's honestly, only one of the benefits that show the YouTube membership better than Patreon. The Patreon appears that it's a lot more friendly to the creator and easier for benefit for the creator. And yes. I hadn't seen the breakdown on what each one takes, but Randy said, Patreon doesn't take as much percentage as YouTube does. So that answers that question. So it's looking comparing apples to apples, it looks like Patreon may be a little bit better, especially for a smaller channel, because you don't have the requirements yet to do the memberships on YouTube. You could be one person away, one watch hour away, and you can't do it.
Right.
And your content and support from your subscribers are just as much as the next person, but you can't get any help to expand your channel or to help you with your cost already every month, even though 99% of us are not doing it for income per se. We're doing it because we enjoy doing it. But when you can get a little help to take care of some of the costs of doing it, everybody's up for that. So, of course, Randy said Patreon. Scott said it's all about the person. It don't matter, membership or Patreon. It's all about the person and the channel.
Right. Living and Cooking asked a question. So you can use Patreon with YouTube, or is it a separate thing? They're just coming in. Yes, Patreon is a separate program, and it's what it is it is a way for creators, and it can be from Facebook, it can be from YouTube, or you can just be independently by yourself, and you can set it up to help raise funds or gain membership for you to have people subscribe to whatever you're doing. So if you have a Living and Cooking Facebook, you can set up a Patreon through Facebook. If you have it through YouTube and Facebook, you can set it up through both of them through one account. So it will allow you to have members do that, for people to come and support you financially and do that. Now, with that little caveat, let me go ahead and put the little asterisk there. You're not going to get rich off of it. It's just something to help you, take the edge off of some of maybe your expenses. Like, Sherman has, StreamYard that he's paying for every month. It may, cut that payment in half, or even pay for StreamYard. If you use Canva, if you're paying for the professional Canva or Adobe or whatever else you're paying for, it helps cover some of those expenses. So, you're not having to do that. Now, if you do find that golden nugget and you hit it big, then yeah, you could possibly make some money off of it. So it's something like that. Now, Randy does bring up a good point. You do need to make your first 100 before you can start collecting money. So whereas YouTube, where you don't have to wait to get your first 100 before you can start collecting money. So Patreon will go ahead and start letting you get the money when you first get it. So.
Okay. How often does Patreon pay? Is it every couple of weeks? As soon as something happens, somebody joins, or once a month? How often does Patreon pay the creator?
I have not tried to get any money out of Patreon yet, so I have not done that yet. So I kind of just joined it and got into it. I really haven't looked at trying to withdraw or put any money transfer to my account yet, so maybe Randy can answer that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I said, I didn't really do it to, start making money. I just did it a little bit to kind of help curb my expenses, and I really haven't gone that far yet.
Right. So let's see.
But I know it's there for me.
Looking through my questions here to see if there's anything we hadn't talked about.
That's fine.
Let's see what person. What and this will go along for Patreon and or YouTube memberships, but what perks for the memberships do you think is people need to be cautioned of to not offer too much in the beginning that they can't keep up?
Yeah, you don't want to promise anything you can't deliver on, because then you're going to lose members, because especially if you have people that don't know you. So say if I get 25 people to join, and out of those 25, 5 know me and the other 20 don't. They're going to join for that first month, and if I promise them, okay, I'm going to give them a lanyard, I'm going to give them this, I'm going to give them that, I'm going to give them that, and I don't deliver on that, or there's some misunderstanding, you're going to lose those members and you're never going to get them back. Whereas the people who may know you may understand, okay, it's kind of come in the mail or what have you. They may not be fully expecting something as soon. So, you just don't want to, you want to over deliver and under promise, if anything. So just like anything else. I did look it up real quick. As soon as you start bringing in your first $5, you can collect that money as often as you can then transfer your balance as often as every 24 hours.
Okay.
And they settle on the 5th of the month. So after the 5th of the month, after your first month of being involved, you can transfer every 24 hours.
Cool. Well, that's good to know. I don't know that you would want to do it that often, but
right.
Unless you had 100 people joining every day.
Yeah. I haven't been that lucky, but and like I said, I've got a few members which I'm very gracious for and I'm very appreciative of, and I'm going to try to over deliver, and hopefully I haven't over promised, but I'm going to over deliver with hopefully what I can get for them, and hopefully they'll appreciate it, and hopefully I'll get some other people to join, and because of what they see and what they like of what I do, but I'm really looking for more subscribers to my channel than anything else. And if they like what I do, then they can come and support me on the other side.
Right. Well, I'm sure I know how you're going to answer this question, but I'm going to ask it for discussion purposes anyway. Should creators focus on growing subscribers first or building memberships first?
My opinion is you really need to focus on your channel, and through your channel you're going to get subscribers. So from that aspect, I think you really need to focus on your subscribers first, because then that will automatically translate into members. If you have a good product, people are going to want to support you. If you don't have a good product, they're not going to want to support you. So and Scott says he likes to support the person. Well, he obviously likes whatever people do that he supports. So if I'm one of those persons, then hopefully he would support me. So if you're one of those persons, hopefully he would support you. So I think if you have a great product and you have subscribers, I think it will turn into members. So I think one will feed off of the other. I think if you focus on members, you might lose something out of your subscribers. But I don't think it would work that way. I think you have to work on your subscribers first.
Yeah, I agree. I think you need to focus on, like you said, on your channel, which is going to create the subscribers. As long as you're doing, putting content that they enjoy, you're going to build that subscriber base. You're going to gain trust from the audience and the subscribers. That's going to help build up a community that you'll become part of. I don't know that there's many channels out there that are not part of some type of community. The size of the community varies absolutely, but I think everybody, even the ones that are making a living off of it and they are cruising free because of their YouTube channel, they're still part of a community.
Yes.
And I think that's going to help you with your strategies to grow your channel and grow your subscribers. And memberships, like you said, memberships is all time, and it's going to come in time. You just keep running your channel for you and building that community, and then the memberships will happen when it's time.
Mhm.
So yeah, I agree that subscribers is, that, because that's what we do the channel for, is not the monetization. Very few people got started out in YouTube with monetization as a thought. I don't think.
Right.
It was about creating. So the monetization just comes along if you build that base up and build that community.
Right. Yeah, because I got in because I wanted to create a diary for something for my kids and my grandkids to see, after I leave this world. So,
Right.
I just wanted to do that, and through that I found this community, and yes, there are expenses with it, and if I can recoup some of those expenses, fabulous. Am I going to become a professional YouTuber sometime? I don't see that in my future anytime soon, but
Yeah.
Anything I can do to help,
Hey.
knock off some of the expenses, I'm sure my wife would appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
And not that she, says anything to me about it, but, I just want to take care of the family and do what I can to, keep everything going.
Yeah. Ron, I'll be on the Unhinged.
Yep.
Chris is waiting for his casino deal.
Yeah. If I can get a darn good casino deal, I might have to tell my boss I can't see myself going in that week. So.
Yeah. Unfortunately not. So.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Uncle Dave finally figured it out. He's put his sunglasses on. Screen blind. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that's why Shannon does hers, is footprints for her grandbabies.
Yep.
So.
And I don't see this as a disadvantage, but the one thing that you cannot do with Patreon that I've noticed that you can with having your YouTube is people cannot do super chats or super stickers during a broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
So I've not figured out a way or seen a way that people can do that through Patreon. So, but that's not really a big deal. That's not something that I'm looking for. But, if I have a little extra, if I hit something big in a casino, I don't mind sharing the wealth with my fellow creators. So,
right. For everybody in the chat, what is a good price range for you when you're looking at joining somebody's YouTube membership and or Patreon? What kind of price are you expecting? And what kind of commitment from the creator do you expect from joining the membership? What do you think you want to get to make it worth you joining their membership, whether it's Patreon or YouTube? Put that
do you
in.
want stickers? Do you want lanyards? Do you want anything? Do you just want like an attaboy?
Right.
What makes you feel good about supporting a creator? And I think I'm on the side with what Scott does. I support the creators that I think I like.
Right.
Well, not that I think I like. I support the creators that I do like. So you look at the creators that I am a part of with Chris and Liz. Controversial cruising.
Right.
Greg and Michelle. So, all of those, creators have deeply touched me in one way or another, in a visceral way, that I don't mind supporting them.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Danny. I'm kind of like what Danny said earlier. She supports creators that give back to the community and to support other creators. And I think I'm the same way. I don't mind helping support as much as I can creators that also help other people, and which, luckily for us, that's the way just about everybody in this community is.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us have seen other YouTube channels not in this community that is all about them and that's it. I hadn't seen one yet that was really that outstanding that I felt like I needed to help support them, because of their attitude. I mean, just the way it is. So I'm kind of like Danny. Let's see. Under 7 is my max. People, members videos, member streams, welcome gifts. Yeah. Let's see.
And if anybody wants to find me a Patreon, everything that I have is under Cruising Chris M. If you go to Patreon and type in Cruising Chris M as a search, same thing with on YouTube, same thing with Facebook, Twitter. The only thing I don't have is I do not have, what is that? I can't remember what it is. I've got, what's the one that shows the short videos all the time?
TikTok.
Yeah, I don't have TikTok. That's the only thing I don't have.
Right.
I'm the only one in my family that doesn't have it, but I don't have it. I'm sure if I did, I'd probably have Cruising Chris M on there too. So.
Oh yeah. Well,
I got lucky with that name, anyways.
Scott said throwing up your PayPal never hurts. If folks think it's begging, but as long as it's open, that it's to help move the channel forward. Yeah, it's good. And it's no different than putting up there to become a member, Yep. He says to buymeacoffee.com, but they take a fee to use that. So,
right.
Let's see here. I wish I had the money to support everyone I watch repeatedly.
And I think, and don't worry about becoming a member. Don't feel bad that you can't support anybody. Just, the subscription is what truly matters, I think, a lot in the community. And, just by coming and supporting each other's channel, I think means the world. And having you around, Uncle Dave, I mean, just means the world to us. So, just having you pop up in the lives and, supporting our channels and, showing up in the chats all the time. Don't feel that you have to support us monetarily. We just like having people, supporting what we do. That makes us feel good, and that makes us feel, good about what we're doing.
That's right. Tripping, I'm glad you feel that way, and that it's helpful and it's being supportive. That anything you got questions about, you can reach out, send us any message, and we'll answer. Or if it's something that we don't know, more than likely in this community, we know somebody that will know the answer, and we can get you steered to them, or either we'll get the answer and get back to you.
Absolutely. And like you said, within this community, there's nothing but love, because we're not competitive in any way. Whereas you see other channels bashing other people, the stuff they put out, this community is nothing but love.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't bash anybody else's channel, because more than likely we'll be on it next week.
Exactly.
Scott says you can do a raffle for donations similar to Coach, that come up with your own thing and figure out like a $10 prize or something. I mean, that's
right.
That's a good idea. Sure. Let's see here. I have a lot of beach memberships from Snickers Madness. Got it. Yeah. Kind of like a contest, kind of like a Christmas-like contest, Mitch. How about that?
Yep. Yeah, because I've been going through a lot of my stuff, and I've got some stuff that I've picked up on different cruises here and there, and I've got some soft-sided coolers. I found a little writing book from MSC from their foundation that I won in a raffle, and and unfortunately for being in this community, I've got a lot of Royal Caribbean stuff, which I know you guys don't have a lot of Royal Caribbean stuff, but if you really want Royal Caribbean stuff, maybe not, but if it's a prize, I don't think you're going to turn down a free prize.
No.
So it may end up at Goodwill, but you're not going to turn down a free prize.
No. Hey, if it's something, you can always send it back out as a gift to somebody else.
Yeah, you can always regift it. So
we ain't above regifting around here. Uncle Dave. Let me check. I think we about got through most of mine. We've talked about them. If we didn't do it in an exact question. And
you all can always just come in and ask me a question. I'm sure you could probably ask Randy the question, or even drop Sherman a line. And who's that guy you had on the other day that was talking about Patreon? So yeah, we're always available. Just send us a DM and on Facebook, or just hang out, and somebody will be able to tell you how to get a hold of us. So if you think of something in the future, don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah, and tonight we've been talking all about the Patreon and YouTube memberships, and like Chris has said and others have said in the chat, the main thing is just come watch, come in the chat, have a good time. If you decide to join whichever one it is on that channel, great. If you don't, great. Just come back, support by watching and commenting in the chats. That's what the main priority is, and that's what each creator wants more than the joining memberships. So don't think that you're not supporting by not joining a membership.
Yep. For sure.
Let's see. Be transparent. You're using that $80 for the new wireless mic. Yeah. Subscribe, watch it. A lot of time, which that's right. That time is more valuable than that dollar.
It is.
You can make more dollars. You can't make more time.
For sure.
So the time is more important than the subscribing.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Somebody sit there and like all y'all tonight, all y'all sit here and watch and listen to me and Chris talk for an hour and 17 minutes. That means more than a $3 a month membership to me anyway, and I'm sure to Chris too.
Sure. For sure.
So let's see.
Absolutely it does.
And everybody's still talking. Let's see. I gave some Royal Caribbean bracelets away.
Yep.
People like to see the journey. Yep. That's right. So, yep. Yep. That's what Dan is the highest paid person in YouTube. Nobody realized it. For all the mod fees she gets from all the channels she's a mod in, and then being Scott's manager, I mean that's a multi-million-dollar a year contract right there. Is being his manager.
For sure.
Got me on the monitor and Chris on the laptop. All right.
Dave's getting all fancy over there.
I swear,
I don't know what to do with them.
Man, something. So what you're saying, Dave, is the reason it was so bright was because it was me. Saying the light shining off my head. Is that what you're getting at? Oh, well, you better hurry up and get it paid before you have some troubles. That might be what happened to your power run.
Yeah.
That might be why the power went out.
She might have sent the trolls over there to the power substation.
Yeah. See, you don't believe me? Ask Rick. Ask Rick what get Danny upset and the trolls just flood in.
Yes, they do.
Well, does anybody in the chat have any questions about Patreon that we hadn't talked about already before we get things wrapped up here tonight? I didn't look. I'm sure somebody's coming on or somebody has came on, but our schedule guys off. So we don't have a good schedule this week to keep up with. The TV guide, the YouTube guide won't post it. So,
Yep.
Yeah, Daniel boot you off your own show.
Yeah. She's done it too.
Yeah. No, that the coach is on. So yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he probably was. I thought he was coming on at 8. But let's see.
Well, it's 8:21 your time.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. So I see, Ron. I paid Danny a year's mod fee when in Helen, and I'll do it again in next year in Helen. So I got it on the annual plan. So of course I got to sponsor her for a seat at the World Uno card game in Helen next March. There's some heated Uno games in Helen. They go all night.
So you better get sharp on the Uno game if you're going to go to Helen then.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good time though. It's a good time. But if you go to Helen, there's a candy store called Hansel and Gretel. If you go in there and tell them you know Ron, they'll give you a 15% discount. But that's only if you go in there and say, "Hey, I know Ron," and it's all right. They're not 15% off right off the top.
Yep.
Before after that fried ice cream. Yeah. So, all right. Well, if ain't nobody got any questions, let's see. I had a chance to go YouTube cruise meetup. I bet that would be interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, Ron. I want to leak that out. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I figured. Everybody else got 25%.
25%.
So, all right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming in tonight. And Chris, appreciate you coming in and
I appreciate you having me, Sherman.
giving us all the insights on the 10% coming up. Insights on Patreon, and like I said, I'm looking at it, thinking about it. So we'll see see what pans out from it if I decide to bite the bullet and do it. And one thing before we go, I just thought about. So how do you advertise your Patreon memberships?
Well, I'm not one to really solicit myself very much, but I do have it as the first link on my YouTube channel. So when you do pull up a video and it does show my channel, I do have the Patreon link there. So when you do see it and it says about, where you can list your Facebook and your email if you want to and all that stuff, Patreon does show as the first thing on my channel. So it is right there. Mm-hmm. And even when I got my first member, I had not announced that I had a Patreon. They had just went and watched some of my videos and saw the Patreon link and went and clicked on the link. And then on their next show, they said, "Hey, Cruising Chris M has a Patreon." The next thing you know, I had, 5 or 6 people on there.
Right.
So I need to do a better job at putting myself out there, but I have a hard time doing that.
Right.
So, I figure if people want to, support me, they're going to support me. But I probably should do a better job at it, but I don't know. I'll get there someday, but not yet.
All right.
So, but yeah, you put it on your Facebook, and then, you can put it in there. Hey, come support my channel. If you want to join, be a member, just as you're putting it in there, if you put it at the end of the video, here's my Patreon link. I know on Restream, I can put up a QR code that can link my Patreon. I'm sure you could probably do something like that in StreamYard,
All right.
where people can click that and join the Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different ways you can do that.
Right. All right. Just a thought that popped in my. I had a neuron fire off there and had a thought come out.
Yep. I get a good thought every once in a while too. So
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'll let everybody go this time. I won't pull you back in.
Yeah.
So, but appreciate everybody being here again, Chris. Appreciate you coming in and sharing the knowledge on Patreon. And hopefully, I know I got something out of it. And hopefully, I mentioned Patreon at the end of all my long videos, plus the link is on my channel description. Okay.
Yep.
Hopefully some more got some out of it. And if not, maybe they can give us some ideas for next week, but I'm sure they got something out of this. And
oh, for sure. Sure. And, in a roundabout way that I do advertise is when I do announce my Patreon members, that does let people know that I do have a Patreon too. So,
right. That's right. So, all right. Well, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow night, 8 o'clock for Cruise News with another Royal Caribbean guy. And Uncle Dave, he won't be able to have us on the monitor tomorrow night because he'll have to be on it himself. But appreciate everybody coming in, and we'll see y'all around. Thanks for all the support you do.
Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it.